A Room with All Our Things is a group exhibition at the Art Pantheon Gallery in Lagos.
It's a room, all right, in the Art Pantheon Gallery, Lagos, filled with interesting works of art done by about 5 artists: Abisola Gbadamosi, Tolulope Daramola, Toju Clark, Paul Aihawu, and Samuel Vitu.
Today's exhibition is a group show, 5 young, amazing budding artists who are young but very interesting, and they're artists to watch out for. We looked at creativity, we looked at aesthetics, we looked at a few things that are promising of a young emerging artist. And we found these artists excelling in all those areas, and we think there is something to watch out for in them. So that's why we've put them together, and we have tagged this exhibition A Room with All Our Things.
The budding artists show images the audience can connect with in a room filled with things which reflect social, cultural, political issues that each creative is passionate about.
Yeah, the idea actually came from my own personal experience and my own personal thought, way of thinking, how I reason things around me. And then I may pick subject that attracts me. Most importantly, the subject I talked about, the impact of colonialism on African cultures. The vernacular series actually is inspired from this term that in primary school days, in the class we say vernacular speaking is prohibited. And the vernacular we are talking about there is the indigenous language of the child, which is either Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa. So it's more like the colonial mindset, whereby your own language becomes prohibited in a particular space. So I make this work to highlight those facts that language has to be original, and then it's more like when you lose your language, you lose your identity.
That piece is talking about the black race. The black race, in pursuit of happiness, in pursuit of love. Rose signifies love in a general term. So, while connecting with people within your country and outside your country, you're basically searching for love. You want others to love you. You're looking for, that love from the next person, just so that you can have a good relationship, and peace reigns at the end of the day. So the general idea here is to preach love.
I'm trying to make sure people understand that even though there might be a lot of darkness, that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So basically, when I was much younger, I had an experience that defined me as a person. I lost my parents, and I went through so much in between, but God kept me through. And I wanted people to understand from different aspects of my art that even if you were abused, or even if you were misunderstood, or although you don't feel like the world has your back, that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It sounds very cliche, but I've just turned into an artist that is ready to speak about my truth and my relationship with God, at the same time the relationship I have with myself.
Each of them explain what they've brought to delight the Lagos crowd.
This is titled not holier than thou. So it's a piece I used in trying to send a message, to everyone that being spiritual is quite important, and I think spirituality is better than being religious. So the message here is for us to search our inner selves and connect with our God on a personal level, and not not put over our personal connection with God what we hear around us. So it is better to make our ways right with God and have a personal relationship with our Creator.
This particular one is called Daydreaming, where we talk about the impact of the basic importance of companionship and aspiration, especially for among the young ones. And there is this very one here that is called Tulips and Roses, which basically emphasizes the importance of self-love and self-evaluation, with just to be more conscious of yourself. And there's this saying that goes that the way you love yourself is the way people will going to love you. It's the way people is going to learn to love you. So that is what this all talks about.
There are two of my series here called Perspective 1 and Perspective 2. That one is inspired by people's objectives, how people see things, how people see situations basically. I realized that a lot of us see things differently. The way I see a particular situation is different from the angle you as a person is also seeing it from. So that's what inspired. And then also attitudes, mental health, and identity.
My expectations are very high, really high. One, let's find an end to COVID so that we all can move out freely, we can cohabit, we can have fun, enjoy ourselves. But in terms of art, we look forward to a more beautiful and promising year where art will thrive and grow, where we'll have purchasing power for our collectors, and they'll be able to acquire more. So we're looking at a very promising year ahead of us.
Besides the big names which have been showed in this gallery, this exhibition further reveals that the Art Pantheon is ready to support the growing creative who have a good head on their shoulders by giving them a platform to display their creativity.